Happy Christmas-ween, Dylan.
We're getting spooky up in here. I'm sitting here drinking my pumpkin spice coffee with my General Mills spooky cereals. I got a blueberries on there, and then Frankenberry, and then Count Chocula.
No yummy mummy? No representation for the yummy mummy?
No yummy mummy, no fruit brute. Dude, mugs can only be so big. Mugs can only be so big, and then they become like a novelty item that you're like, well, I'm never going to use this.
Yeah, I'm never going to need this much drink.
Yeah, I have a giant mug that is the head of Snorlax from Pokemon, and it is more like a pot in the shape of a mug, and you're like, I'm not going to use this for anything, because it's not like a teapot. It's literally has a handle, like you're supposed to drink out of it, but that's not usable.
You know what's my favorite mug to drink out of?
What is your favorite mug to drink of?
The Christmas 365 mug that can be purchased at christmas365.dashery.com, as well as a couple cool t-shirts. So how about you go hit up our merch now that it's that time of year to get some Christmas stuff sent to you.
It's that time of year. You won't look weird walking down the street in one of our shirts anymore.
Yeah, we're getting close to that. I can start wearing my Season's Greetings shirt again.
I was actually thinking about, I think after we get done recording today, there's a local vineyard that's having like donuts today at noon, and we were gonna go out, and I was trying to figure out, well, what am I gonna wear today? Because it's getting a little cool. I was like, a flannel with a little t-shirt under it, and I was like, maybe I'll wear a Christmas 365 shirt. But I pulled back just a little bit. I pulled back just a little bit. But I'm ready to rock. Dude, it is spooky season 100%. Before we were getting on here, we were talking about these General Mills cereals, and you were talking about how you just feel like you kind of don't get into them as excited as people get.
I get excited about, like, they're doing like a Muppets thing. Like, I love the Muppets.
Yes, that's really cool.
But what always ends up happening is that I buy a bunch of it. Like, I'm going to buy all 4 boxes, and I'm going to eat them this year. And then I never finish any of them because I feel like there's a scene in the movie Sugar and Spice where the female cheerleader who's pregnant and her boyfriend are walking through the cereal aisles, and he's talking about how he's excited to teach this kid all types of things, like which cereals will cut up the roof of your mouth and which ones won't.
Yeah.
And, like, there's something about the texture of the physical cereal in all of those Halloween cereals that just feels off to me. Like, it feels like styrofoam, or it either feels like styrofoam or it feels like it's going to cut the shit out of your mouth because it's so rigid. There's no, like middle ground on the cereal. Now, and I'm a texture person, so the texture turns me off even if I like the taste.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of that because I don't disagree with you, and I say that as a fan. I love the blueberry. Blueberry is my favorite. My mom loved Count Chocula. I don't mind the other ones. Like, I'll love a good bowl of Frankenberry, but I would be lying if I said they weren't a cereal that tasted stale before it went stale. Like, there's something about it that's
what
like,
it is. It already tastes
when you
stale.
bite into it, it already feels like, oh, this is a little chewier than it should be.
It tastes like it's been sitting on a shelf for 10 months waiting for the next round of holiday to sell.
Yeah, it almost feels like you better get your box of blueberry in August, because if you're waiting until October, it's probably even worse.
Yeah, like, it's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of very weird, you had me watch the Adult Swim Yule Log.
Yes, but before we get into it, regardless of your feelings, Matt Kelly, regardless of if you loved this or absolutely hated this, I feel like you would agree that this plays better if you don't know what is going to happen.
Well, yeah, so here's the thing. I had heard about the special.
Yes.
I'd never seen it before, and I never really learned about the details of it beyond people really, really loved it. I did a little bit of research, and I found out that while making this, the director, I believe his name is Casper Kelly.
Yes.
He originally wanted the Yule Log to run uninterrupted for 2 straight hours before the movie started.
Which is incredible.
And they said, like, absolutely not. And they trimmed it down to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into this movie. So here's my question. Do you want to know what my thoughts are before we start talking about it?
No.
Or do you want to wait till the very end after we've gone through the paces?
Okay, I'll do a little both. If you're, I do enjoy this, and part of my enjoyment was also the experience of sitting down with Teddy and watching it, having no idea what I was going to get into. So if you are listening to this and you are interested even a little bit, please go watch it before you come listen to us talk about it.
I think I can say my feelings without spoiling anything.
Okay.
Actually looking at it. So,
all right.
I'm scrolling down towards the bottom, and I said, I think I would have liked this movie more if it was a short film, if the third act felt less cruel, and that it never broke the single shot concept.
Got it.
And then the last thought I wrote, which also doesn't spoil anything, but it hits a point where I think it gets too weird for weird's sake for me to continue enjoying it. Like, I think that the setup is a solid one.
Yes.
And then the further the movie goes along, the more, and I mean, I know it's Adult Swim, right? But it's like, this is coming from the guy who did Too Many Cooks. I also wouldn't like Too Many Cooks if it was a 90-minute movie. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point,
it only works because it is
20 minutes or something.
Extended 20-minute sitcom opening. I actually don't disagree with you either. I enjoy this whole thing because of what it is, but my enjoyment kind of ends, honestly, once it does switch over from that single camera shot to looking like a normal film. This is, I think this is considered part of that like weird infomercial thing that Adult Swim had done. I think it is part of that kind of grouping. Have you seen most of those?
No, when I was trying to find this, it kept coming up as like part of that box set, and this was hard to. I had to download the Adult Swim app to finally be able to watch it because it seems like if it was part of that infomercial series, they've pulled it from the Max versions now. Which I don't know why, unless like, is this that hotly sought after that they're like, oh, we got to get people to download the app for this one.
I don't know. I mean, Max is part of that Warner Brothers like window.
Oh, where they're just dropping shit left. Max is what fucked us for next week's episode too. Yeah, because up until a month ago, what we were going to talk about was on Max, and then they're just like, nope, no one's watching it. Drop it.
They're constantly getting rid of stuff. There was a couple shows on there that had premiered during the pandemic. There were a couple cartoons that had played. One of them, Summer Camp Island, which I think they eventually brought back. And then one of them was the follow-up to the regular show. I can't remember the name of it.
The Irregular Show?
Yeah, it was not the Irregular Show. But it was the main character, Mordecai, who's or not. It's not related, but the voice of the main character who also created this show. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Was a part of this show, and it's about two like millennial adults who are getting older and them like kind of just navigating life while shenanigans ensue. And it was actually really good and hit at the perfect time, being the pandemic. But much like a bunch of other stuff, Warner Brothers is just like, nah, like just toss it in a bin. Nobody cares about it.
No one cares about it.
So I'm wondering if that is what ended up happening here, because technically this is also, and here we go into spoilers. This is called The Fireplace. It was an independent film made by Casper Kelly. It is the follow-up kind of to that Too Many Cooks thing. And I will also say, we are jumping the gun here, but if I don't talk about it for a second, I'm going to forget. I am going to eventually make you watch the sequel, because I know. It is a completely different vibe, but in a good way.
Did you read it all about the production of this? Did you do any research?
No, I didn't really get into the research of this. I think besides maybe like looking up actors and stuff while I was watching it the first time.
So here, I found this kind of interesting. So Kelly conceived the idea in 2021 when he was watching a Yule Log video and wondering what would occur if someone's legs just appeared out of focus walking across the screen, accompanied by dialogue in the background, and whether it would generate curiosity for the viewer. According to Kelly, he was able to pitch the initial idea to Adult Swim directly, given their working history together, and was familiar with their system to get it greenlit. Adult Swim also had a slush.
Just ask. Like, we've seen some of the shit that Adult Swim is greenlit. Just say hey.
So here's the big thing. They had a slush fund, which allowed Adult Swim executives to approve the project without requiring any higher corporate approval. And the film was Adult Swim's first feature-length project. And simultaneously its first horror movie. It was also Kelly's first feature-length endeavor. He shot the film in secret over the course of 15 days to ensure its delivery in time for the holiday season. Filming took place. Can skip all that. Keeping the project's budget relatively low helped the project avoid scrutiny from higher ups, according to Kelly. Following the merger of Warner Brothers Animation and Adult Swim's parent company, Cartoon Network, Kelly had to deal with post-production delays that involved 6 additional editors following the departure of the executive Walter Newman, who originally greenlit the project. The entire process was compromised and took 6 months, with each editor being given a month to work on their section of the film.
Jesus.
Initially, the film was open with 2 hours of fireplace Yule Log, but higher profile time slot caused Kelly to have to cut the segment down to a mere 2 minutes before the plot began to take place.
I think that anecdote on the amount of editors working on their own little bit of the movie shows.
Yeah.
Like, I think it very much plays out in this
You know what it is, Dylan? Ironically, it's a situation of too many cooks.
It is too many cooks. Wow. Maybe he did it on purpose. This was Casper Kelly's plan all along. This is the type of movie he wanted.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
Every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why am I facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
So we start with this Yule Log, and a woman's legs walk into view, and she starts vacuuming when someone knocks at the door. It's a woman whose car broke down, and she's looking to use a phone to call for help. And then a man in a mask comes in, and they murder the woman who's vacuuming. They start to try to burn the bloody clothes in the fire, but the mother explains that we need to bury the body with the clothes because we can't burn the body. However, before they can do anything, the renters of this cabin arrive, and then they adjust the camera so it's no longer a wide shot.
Pause. If the entire movie was this, I would be into it.
So,
I was fucking into this. There's certain shots, and I'm sure you've mentioned it, there's certain shots that, it goes, it focuses in on, a cup of, the killer sticking his head out and shit.
Yeah.
It is really eerie. It's really cool. This is also the shot when it goes wide, when it reveals that, I'm sorry, audience, this is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
All of the decor is fall and Thanksgiving shit.
Yeah, it is what it is, but it counts because it aired during the Christmas season.
Yeah,
it was intended
it says
to be a
Yule
fake
in the
out.
title.
Yeah.
Sue me.
So the renters get engaged, and then the police show up, and we learn that the logs in the fire came from a hanging tree, which is a taboo in the town. The sheriff makes them put the fire out and recommends that they do not light it again. And this kind of hits the wall of now we're bringing actual fucked up shit that had happened during slavery times in it, and it does make it harder to have fun.
And
with that heavy of a thing hanging over the movie
constantly.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it during first watch, and I think it was because I was so enthralled with where this was going and not knowing where it was going.
I wanted to know what happened next with it.
But on this rewatch, which I've only watched it twice. I watched it the first time and then watched it this morning. on this rewatch, that stuff sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's not always in a bad way, but it does prevent you from having fun with it. Because
I agree. I think the fun stops as soon as we get introduced to more characters like that.
Yeah. And I don't know, even as it ends, and I don't know if I'm just dumb or stupid or whatever, I don't know what message was trying to be taught
I mean, I guess the message was slavery was bad, which hot take.
Where I'm
but
like, yes,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just
I agree.
but yeah, it starts to go into was this a story that needed to be told?
It insists upon itself.
It insists upon itself. So the police leave, and Alex and Zoe begin to argue about their opinions of marriage. And Zoe's trepidations.
What a weird argument it actually becomes.
Yeah, and her trepidations because of mental health concerns.
Yeah.
Then 4 podcasters arrive because the cabin happens to be double booked.
4 true crime podcasters that definitely put emphasis on the fact that they do not take any of this true crime seriously. It honestly, this is a podcast that, did you see the posters for Charlie Hunnam in Ed Gein, the new Ed Gein?
No, I haven't.
Joint that's coming out. Oh, it's sexy Ed Gein.
Oh, of course.
It's because it's what's
infamously
his face?
Sexy man, Ed Gein.
And it makes you feel uncomfortable. Like, you're like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. These are horrible things. And that's played up even more, going back to what we were talking about, where this movie inserts very serious undertones, is when they're looking, the podcasters are trying to show our 2 original renters a picture of an alien at a lynching. Yeah. And they're like, look at this alien, and then they look at the one of the original renters. Zoe is black. She's really our main character. I would
she's
say.
The main character for sure.
And they're like, look at this picture. I'm like, this is uncomfortable, and it's very much very tone deaf. I think that's what they were going for with the podcasters,
but it still is. It's very not what I'm tuning in for. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of messes it up. So Alex tries to call the owner to figure out how they can fix the double booking. And this is when Zoe finds her phone under the couch, and it freaks her out. But it only freaks her out. And I don't understand how no one, everyone else is like, oh, she must have just left her phone.
So the podcasters are high.
Yeah.
They all ate edibles. Like that's I'm only saying that because they say it like 15
times. That's the movie's
times.
explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that's the explanation. But Zoe's boyfriend, or I guess fiance, Alex, his reactions to pretty much everything, even before they show up, are weird. I'm glad to know that if Teddy and I were going to a cabin and
you
weird
found
shit
a phone of the owner underneath the couch, so you'd both be like, let's get in the car and get the fuck out of here.
And the sheriff show up and say, hey, don't light this fire. There's a curse on this home.
There's a curse on this home, and also there's an escaped killer on the loose. And now you're finding the homeowners. Like, I'd be like, listen, way too much creepy shit's adding up. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm not like, hey, come have sex with me on this bear rug. Like,
well, it's also like,
will you marry me? Like, this is not a good time.
No, it's kind of that, like, you know, Eddie Murphy did that bit in the 80s about, like, why there's not a haunted house movie with black people. And, like, the whole point is he's like, because we don't give a shit about our early investment on a cheap house. Like, the second that house says, get out, we're just like, yes, sir.
Yep. Highly recommend The Blackening for anybody that hasn't seen that. That is very much an amazing take on that. I feel like the trailers didn't do a great job of putting forth what that movie actually was. I think I fear that the trailers leaned a little heavy on the, oh, look, it's a huge comedy, which it is a comedy, but it's got some good horror to it too. Yeah, and it's a great take on that scenario. It's awesome.
So we get the first of what are like 5 different flashbacks. I'm just going to talk about all the flashbacks now.
Go for it, because it's fucking weird and it doesn't make sense.
So we get a flashback to the origins of the log, and basically there is a slave owner who has had a baby with one of his slaves.
Yes.
But he has promised her that he would give him to the kindest slave owner he knew but then instead ended up giving it to the most cruel and abusive slave owner.
Because he paid more money.
Because he was willing to pay more money. So then they get into a fight in which she stabs him to death. Yeah. And then it's implied that she is then hung at the hanging tree that this log comes from, and that her and her baby daddy slave owner have possessed this tree. That their souls live in this tree because you can hear their voices coming from the log later on. Spoiler
and they're
alert.
constantly talking throughout the movie. Yeah.
It's weird. Anyway, so we go back to
It's weird. It's and it's hard to take seriously because you're constantly reminded throughout the movie that like this concept is the dumbest shit ever. Like, especially when she's on the phone and she's like, there's a log banging on the door.
Well, and the
it's
girl,
flying.
probably the funniest part in the whole movie is that scene, because the one podcaster who lives is in the back going, don't mention the flying log. They won't come if you do.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Which is
as
very
high
true.
as she is, she's realistic of like, just say that there's someone knocking down the door.
And I think that's the imbalance of seriousness and goofiness of the log. It makes me feel weird while watching it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like you said, where I'm like, this slave owner, the slave and their son are embodying a log that is flying around killing people, and it's a very CGI log.
It's a very CGI log, yeah. So let's get back to the cabin. So we're back in the cabin.
I'm so sorry.
All these people go their separate ways. Some people are going into the hot tub. Some people are going to lay down. Some people are getting a shower. And that's when the fireplace reignites itself, which I do love that shot. And then the log starts floating around the cabin, and it beats one of the podcasters to death. And I won't lie, I love the shot of this face getting smushed.
It was so good.
I'm willing to give up that shot for what I think is a better way to do this story, which we'll talk about later. But they're hanging out by the fireplace, and this is when one of the other podcasters imagines a tiny man inside the fire trying to get his attention.
Yeah.
And he crawls in there. And
quote, imagines. Quotes around that.
Yeah.
Because is he real? We don't know what the fuck's happening.
So I do love this line. He crawls in there, and they're like literally inside the fireplace, right?
Yes.
So there's fire all around them, but they're sitting at a kitchen table. And the little man goes, this is like that meme. It's like that meme with that dog.
You know, this is fine.
Yeah, that's like a pretty funny bit. But then the man in the fireplace starts to show this podcaster this elevator that can go anywhere in time where this fireplace existed, or really any fireplace. We do get a quick cameo of the Too Many Cooks killer here, which I do think is very nice.
Yes.
But then the little man tells the podcaster, you can make your mom so much more proud of you if you just go in through this fireplace and write A++ on her stomach. Then you will be like
No. He said write it on a paper on the fridge. He said
on a paper
if
on the
you go
fridge.
write a paper on the fridge. So he goes and he does that, but when he comes back in,
he says I wrote it on her stomach.
Yeah, I wrote it on her stomach, and the guy's like, well, what do you mean you wrote it on her stomach? He's like, yeah, with the red marker, and the marker turns from black to red, and then it turns into a knife.
Yeah, a bloody knife. And then he sees that he killed his own pregnant mother, and now he no longer exists.
Yeah. He was tricked into doing it, and I felt so bad for this guy, because the guy that's tricking him is like, he's playing off the fact that he's high, and it's his fault, and I'm like, this poor guy, man, you got tricked. You got tricked, bud. It's okay.
So everyone then
this was kind of fun.
They find the corpse. Yeah. And then they start blaming each other for who could have done it.
Hold on. You didn't mention that he wasn't born, so they just replaced him with
a different person.
Asian man.
Yeah.
Because it's hinted at that she has a thing for Asian people.
Yeah. But it's the same actor, I'm pretty sure. Is it a different actor?
I'm pretty sure it's a different actor.
I checked.
Or is he just cleaned up?
I think they just cleaned him up, because I checked the... Do you think this movie could afford a second Asian man for a throwaway scene?
Yes, I do. Because...
I don't think they did. I think if you look, it's going to be... Because this dude is on camera for about 30 seconds before they immediately kill his character.
Plays Henry. Hold on.
And then Hunter is the other one.
Hunter is the other one.
I have a feeling there's no Hunter.
Hunter is played by, I'm going to butcher this name.
Well, you don't have to say the name. Okay, so
it is two different people. Yep.
I was literally under the impression that he just like pulled his hair back, cleaned him up.
No.
This guy is literally on camera for about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
This like clean cut guy runs in to try to stop the log and then is immediately killed anyway. Like it's so,
Yeah.
I can't believe they hired a different actor to do such a small bit. Anyway, yes, the log then kills two of the other podcasters. The one, it like knocks her full face off.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And this is when the mother and the killer from the beginning finally come out of hiding at this point and ambush the remaining three people. So we got Zoe, Alex, and Holly is the last podcaster that's alive.
Yeah.
Then, like, this is where I wrote the note where I was like, I think this is getting too weird for weird's sake. But this is also where I feel like the movie gets cruel because the killer is left to basically sexually assault both of the women.
Yes.
While the mother is like toying with the man. And then an alien just comes in and sucks out all of the internal organs from the mother. And then she does the same to Alex, but he doesn't die from it.
Yeah,
which I don't understand. They don't really explain that. But the alien is then killed by the masked killer, and then Zoe kills the masked killer.
Yep.
But then the little man in the fireplace tries to tempt her to end her existence so that she could live a life that doesn't have anxiety, but she actually is able to refuse the temptation.
Which is, once again, it's the movie, again, being like, look at this message we have.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional. I mean, the messaging is intentional, but it seems like it's taking itself way too seriously.
Way too seriously.
Holly
just runs off in the woods, never to be seen again. Like she just
good for
like
her.
she's just like fuck you, I'm not going back in that house. So Zoe and Alex escape by car. They find the hanging tree, and all these cultists are standing around worshiping it, including the original sheriff and police people that came. They run them over. They drive out of town, and then Zoe accepts Alex's marriage proposal, and then the log appears outside their window, and then because we still need to get one more weird moment in here, it then just cuts to an advertising agency where the actor and the actress who played the slave owner and the slave are now like working a high-profile job, present day, but as they start to talk, the building that they're in starts to catch on fire.
Yeah, but we also see
the killer.
That the killer was... So at one moment, it's kind of a callback to what happened earlier when Alex is being interrogated by the mother. He is like begging for his life and is like, hey, I know that you see your son is dumb, but he could get into a trade. He could become an AC repairman or a plumber.
So the killer is the AC repairman in this weird world.
Yeah.
But as they start talking and everything starts burning, they all shift into their normal roles. So the killer now has the mask back on, and the slave owner and the slave turn into those characters. They're no longer wearing modern clothes. They're using those clothes. And then for a split second, we also get the reveal that the slave owner is the little man that lives in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Before it then just cuts back to present day, and now the little man is riding the log as he supposedly kills Alex and Zoe, but I think I saw that Zoe's in the sequel, so I don't know what
Zoe
the fuck's
is
going
in
on.
the sequel. I don't remember how that works, if they even do try to work that out. Who the fuck cares? That's the thing, is like the second one, if I remember, and much like the first one, I've only seen it once, but we have to watch it because of the weird shit that it does. But it does it in it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Can I spoil just a little bit about it?
A tiny bit, and then I want to talk about what I would do differently with this movie.
So the second movie, I'm just going to spoil a little bit. The second movie parodies a lot of Hallmark movies. It's very much plays the boy meets girl in a Hallmark town.
Yeah.
So and that's all I'm going to say. And it does it in a really... It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And if I remember correctly, it doesn't get as serious as this movie does. However, when we rewatch it, I might be completely wrong.
Who knows? Stay tuned next October, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think you completely remove Sentient Log. Like, get rid of that plot.
Agreed.
You get rid of the entire slavery background. You trim this shit down to like 20 minutes. And you never break from that close-up shot of the fireplace. And you let the rest of the beats play out where I say you have it start the way it does. You have Zoe and Alex getting engaged right in the middle of the frame. The police show up. You hear the police conversation about the escaped killer. The podcaster show up. But all of this you're just hearing off camera, and occasionally they're walking through. Because
it's like a radio play. It's like,
like a radio play.
I
because
love that.
I think the idea of them being like, oh no, it's an alien. Like, that is so funny.
Yes.
If you're not seeing it and you're just hearing all this chaos happen. It makes me think of, you've seen the movie Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald?
Yeah. Yep.
The funniest part in all of that movie, I still stand by, is when they hide the fish in the mobster's house, and it's just the static shot of Norm and Artie Lang holding these fish, stone-faced, as in the distance you are hearing the most chaotic death and destruction happening as this gang war breaks out, and like it's all hooked on one guy who's just like, oh no, he's got a chainsaw, oh no, he's chainsawing me in half. Like, it's like you do that bit, and like maybe you see like moments of things coming in.
Yeah, you can do like the blood splatter on the fireplace
everything,
a little bit more,
and then you literally hear, you can even hear like the either the killers escape or like people escape, and then just like it stays on that fireplace for like another 5 minutes before it like fades out. Now, would we lose out on this amazing Puddles Pity Party song that closes out the movie? Probably.
It's so good.
But like
It's
all
so
in all,
good.
I'm glad I finally watched this. But I do not think that this is one I'm going to be revisiting. I'm hoping that the Hallmark elements of the second one tickle me enough that I'm like, oh, this one I might actually revisit more. Because this just didn't. That's the other thing too. Like, I was almost done the movie and I was like, man, this really is like bare minimum Christmas movie.
Yeah, it really is. And I think I really didn't notice it. It did come out early enough in December that like we weren't digging into our heavy hitters yet.
Yeah.
So it was a nice ease into the season. It is very bare minimum. If it wasn't called Yule Log, you could have set this. We wouldn't be covering it. Like, if this movie was not called the Adult Swim Yule Log and it was released maybe in November and just called The Fireplace, which is the other title, we wouldn't be talking about it. We're literally talking about this movie because of its title. So I think the second one does lean a lot more into the season. I don't remember if there are a lot of those serious elements. I'm hoping not, because I remember it being a lot more fun.
It does suck the joy out of the movie when those moments happen. Like,
it does.
And the agent,
like
the advertising agency thing is so weird, because at least like with the slavery stuff and the man in the fireplace, like that all kind of interconnects. But like, I don't know why we get this alternate reality scene strictly to give us the backstory on the little man being the slave owner.
Yep.
That is the only reason that scene
revealed
exists.
In any way. You could have had him maybe like tell the story of like back when this and this happened. Like, you could just have him explain the story to Zoe and do like a little flashback or anything, honestly. But not getting into the seriousness of that, this could have still been really dark and been good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you could still be dark and silly with the idea that I was talking about.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because here's what I wanted from this movie as it was going.
And that's what I thought the movie was. I really thought the movie was
I wanted more of that. There are some great shots in this movie.
Also, how big is this fucking Airbnb where those two people have been hiding for hours in this house undetected?
Yeah. And you're telling me that when you guys showed up and
there was no
you're
blood?
not looking everywhere? You're not looking everywhere? I know when I go to an Airbnb or when I'm in like a new place,
gotta
I'm
lay
kind of
the
like,
land.
I gotta see what everything is. What is
Yeah.
this room? There could be
but
dead
again,
bodies in the basement. We gotta
you're-
make sure there's not.
Also, like, again, in the beginning, they are throwing a blood-soaked bra into the fireplace.
Yeah.
There's not a drip of blood anywhere from where this happened. You cleaned up
Yeah.
that thoroughly. Like,
Well, it's the same deal as when the killers come out. Unless I'm missing this part. When the killers come out, they're not like, well, who the fuck killed these people? Like,
yeah.
like what do you?
It's so.
Did they mention that? I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But
They have no clue what's happening with the log. So it's like
Yeah,
it's got so many like kind of little holes in it, which maybe
would be
was lost by
fine.
the editors, but
it would be, those holes would be fine if you just leaned more into the dumb shit that was happening. But again, I think that imbalance, it makes you want to focus on those things. You're like, oh, if you're taking this seriously, I'm going to take this seriously. as
also
well.
like not for nothing, they're hiding in this cabin. They should be hearing some of the stuff that's happening. Like,
yes.
like
So I feel like that shot at the end, not the very last shot, but the advertising agency portion is quite literally the moment where I go, that's right, this is Adult Swim.
yeah.
Like
That's the most Adult Swim
that
moment.
section, I'm like, that's right, this is Adult Swim. We're just getting dark and weird to get dark and weird. And that's fine, but it very much takes it and just draws an emphasis on this is Adult Swim. Remember those weird infomercial things we used to do? Here's another one.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Well, Dylan, I'm excited for the sequel in a year from now.
I'm
maybe.
excited as well. Like, I'm really hoping when we get off this, I'm just going to text you constantly until you watch it. Like, I would like you to watch it before. I don't know why. I really want to talk about this. And I really want you to. I need you to
tell you,
to watch
probably
it.
not gonna
Don't say
happen.
that. Watch it. Hey.
All right.
Watch it. You've got plenty of time. You've got plenty of time.
Oh
over
yeah,
the
no,
season.
I'm only juggling 3 kids and a busy life, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
you're fine. You got time.
All right.
Hey, also Twisted in November, bro.
All right, yeah, sure.
and I are
I'll
going.
still put that on my schedule. Whoop whoop. Merry Christmas, still.
Merry Christmas, Matt.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.